And here to tell us more about those 47 secret veteran benefits for seniors is Air Force veteran and author Ms. Victoria Collier. How are you, Victoria?
Good. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. So let's go ahead and get this party started, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. So many attorneys that are as passionate about what they do as you are. How did you know that this was the type of clientele that you wanted to work with?
Well, it started off, first of all, I used to be a nurse's aide in a nursing home and working with the senior citizens hands-on. And then after spending 6 years in the active duty Air Force, when I became a lawyer, I still wanted to work with seniors, and it was wonderful that I could blend that with my veteran experience and work with World War II veterans and Korean veterans. So it just was a natural fit.
Awesome. Okay. Now, we obviously don't have enough time to go through all 47 benefits. And of course, you want people to buy the book. So if we told them all the answers, they wouldn't buy it, right?
Right.
All right. So let's just take a look at one and run through it to give our audience an idea of what to expect from your book, okay?
Okay, sure.
So let's start with... since I know we have a number of World War II veterans listening, let's talk about the monies that World War II and Korean wartime veterans can get to pay for private health care at home or in assisted living facilities.
The most unfamiliar benefit that's out there that veterans of wartime service can receive is called a pension, and there's 3 different levels of that pension. There's the low-income pension, and then there's a supplement if they're housebound. Essentially, they can't leave the home. Or if there's another supplement called aid and attendance, and so that's if they need the help from another person to help them with their activities of daily living, walking, bathing, dressing, toileting, things like that. Well, this particular type of income is available to wartime veterans who served at least one day during a wartime period, at least 90 days in the military, and it's a tax-free income. And just to give you an example of a World War II veteran who served, he was never injured in the military. He did his time, he got out, he lived for several years, and then just because he got Parkinson's disease or Alzheimer's disease, now he needs that assistance from another person to help him with his daily activities. Well, if he's married, he can receive up to $1,949 a month, which is just over $23,000 a year of tax-free income to help offset the cost of care. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good chunk of change right there, right?
Well, especially in these economic times, and I've seen all too often where veterans and their family members will not take the medication they need to take because they can't afford it, or they'll only eat one meal a day because they can't afford that and their medication. So this can help them offset those costs and really, truly do the things they need to do, which is eat well, take their medications well, and get the proper care.
Absolutely. And I know there's a lot of veterans out there that could definitely use those extra monies. But how hard is it to qualify, and where would our veterans go to qualify? Or to apply, excuse me.
Right. Well, first of all, this type of benefit is based on their financial need, which means that there's an income requirement and an asset requirement. And so, for example, on the income requirement, the married veteran and the spouse cannot make more than $1,949 per month together.
I don't do math either, okay?
I don't either. But unfortunately, what the VA does not tell you is that that's the gross amount of income after they deduct all medical expenses. So they actually can make more income than what the VA is telling them. As far as on the asset side, they're limited to about $80,000 or less in countable resources, which exempts the home. The home doesn't count and the car doesn't count. But there are things that the veteran can do if they plan strategically, plan according to the policy in order to preserve money that is in excess of $80,000. And the VA is not going to tell them how to do that, so they would need to use someone who's accredited through the VA, like a lawyer, to help them put that plan in place. Very similar to estate planning. But once they're eligible, then they can apply through the VA regional office in their state, or they can use a veteran service organization like the VFW, the DAV, others that we're all very familiar with. Or if they have an attorney who has helped them with the planning, the attorney will often apply for them at no charge. And that is a key factor, is that nobody can charge a veteran to help them with the application, file the application, and follow up on it with the VA.
And let's say that last line again, because I think they need to hear that one more time.
When a veteran is eligible for this type of pension or any kind of VA benefits, when they are filing an application, if they get assistance from anyone, that person or that organization must be accredited through the VA. And they cannot charge to assist with completing the application, filing the application, or following up through the application process until it's completed and approved.
So if there's someone out there that's being charged to fill out these applications, that's a red flag.
Yes, it is, and it's illegal.
And it's illegal.
Now, correct. Now, there are things, for example, as a lawyer, if someone's not eligible for the benefits financially, we can help arrange their situation so that they do become eligible, and we can charge for the planning piece. That's called estate planning. That's called Eldercare planning. We can charge for that. But once we start helping with that application, we cannot charge for that, and neither can anyone else.
Okay, that's very good to know. Are widows and spouses of veterans eligible for this benefit as well?
Widows are eligible for the VA non-service connected pension, but spouses of veterans, as long as the veteran is alive, the veteran is always the claimant, so the spouse is not eligible for anything. However, once the veteran is deceased, then the widow can be eligible for this benefit as well.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
So,
but I'm sorry, can I make one distinction? And that is, if we have a healthy veteran who doesn't need the aid and attendance of another person to help them, but their spouse is ill, the veteran can still file a claim for the veteran and claim the medical expenses for the spouse so that they still qualify. But it truly is the veteran's claim, not the spouse's claim.
Okay, that was a very good clarification. Thank you, because I was just getting ready to ask you, wait a minute, that doesn't seem fair.
Right. As long as the veteran's alive, it's the veteran's claim. Okay. And so he can claim the expenses of the spouse.
So it's kind of a play on words. So the spouse can't get it if the veteran files for it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, what if both of them are in need of full-time care? Because you do on occasion run into where both the husband and the wife need full-time care at some point, because people are living for longer and longer.
Correct, and that is a case where the veteran would still file for the claim, but the VA, regardless how much their care costs, the VA is only going to reimburse up to $1,949 for a married veteran. So even if both their expenses exceed that, the VA will never pay more than that to reimburse them.
So there's a ceiling.
There is a ceiling, yes.
Okay. I was going to leave that one. Okay. You mentioned in your notes that the VA will not share all the eligibility details with the prospective client or claimants, so that it was important to get advice from an accredited lawyer. First of all, why in the world wouldn't the VA want to share the details? Isn't that why they're there?
Well, they're there to process applications and to determine, based on the evidence in the file, whether someone is eligible or not. They're not there to do planning for someone or to explain the law or even to give legal advice to them. They're there simply to process and adjudicate an application. So if someone's application isn't completed properly, if there are, for example, let's compare it to the tax code. The IRS is there to complete and adjudicate your tax form.
And take all my money.
Exactly. But if you didn't list all the deductions you could take, well, that's your burden to list all the deductions. Well, the VA application is the same way. If you haven't done all the right things to become eligible and preserve your resources, the VA is certainly not the source to advise you what that is. Their interests are just very different than the veteran's interest.
Wow. Okay. So will having an attorney on record help expedite the approval process?
Not in a sense that there's no extra pool per se, but an experienced attorney will have done multiple applications. They will know exactly what the application and all the verification materials need to say, how to arrange them to get them through the system as efficiently as possible so that they're not kicked back. That's the problem when an individual files an application, is the VA will come up to a spot where they're like, oh, I need more information. They'll stop. They'll ask for the more information. They'll get it. Then they'll continue. Oh, I need more information. They'll stop. They'll send it to the VA. With an attorney who has experience, that shouldn't happen because everything should be in the file already. It should go through the system without being kicked back.
Wow.
And that can make it go faster.
Absolutely. And so, based on the scenario that you just laid out, where they would send it back, oh, we need more information, send it back, we get more information. So is that why we're reading about all of these delays, 2 years, 5 years? Is that what that's coming from the back and forth and back and forth?
That's part of where it's coming from. The other is, it's important to recognize there's two types of claims. There's service-connected disability claims from when someone's been injured in the military or due to their military service. Those claims have priority in the adjudication process, and they certainly are overwhelmingly the majority of the claims. The pension for non-service connected, they're not the priority of the VA to process those. And so sometimes there's a delay because of that as well. And then oftentimes, you think about it, the people who are making claims are disabled. They may have, our elderly ones generally have memory loss, so they don't remember everything, and they certainly can't act as quickly or as efficiently as someone who is trained and who does not have any disabilities. And so that can certainly delay the process.
Absolutely. Now, you were talking about, when we were talking about the attorneys, you were talking about those that have done it before. Is there a central pool or a central directory that has a listing of attorneys that work with, like you do, that's their niche? You know, so if somebody in another state wanted to find a qualified eldercare attorney, how would they find that?
A qualified eldercare attorney, there's a national organization called the National Academy of Estate Planning, the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys. But for veterans benefits purposes, I'm actually a co-founder of an organization called the Veterans Advocate Group of America, and that's comprised of accredited attorneys, also has ethical financial advisors, and then also geriatric care managers.
And what was the name of that one again?
Veteran Advocates Group of America. And also, if someone has service-connected claims, the best organization to get representation there is through the National Organization of Veteran Advocates, frequently called NOVA. They have a lot of clout in Washington, D.C. as well. They're very well respected for service-connected appeals.
So that would be, that way at least you know you're getting someone who knows how to do it right.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, your law office is in Georgia, and just for clarification purposes, the things that we're talking about are available across the United States. It's not Georgia-specific. Is that correct?
Correct. These are federal benefits, so the actual laws are the same across the United States. Each pension center, and there's 3 or 4 of them, may process things a little differently, but the laws are the same.
And some people must require red ink or blue ink or black ink, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and the ones that are part of your book, the 47 secret veteran benefits for seniors, that again is across the board. It has nothing to do with where they live.
Correct. It is applicable to all veterans across the United States and their family members.
Great. And so, Victoria, where can our audience get copies of your book?
47 Secret Veterans Benefits for Seniors can be purchased off of Amazon.com, and also you can go to my website at www.elderlawgeorgia.com.
Absolutely. So before I let you off the hook so that you can go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, what message do you have for our veterans and our troops today?
Well, I would just, like to say, first of all, thank you for continuing to stick with it. These are interesting times, and I respect wholeheartedly all the people who have served in the past and certainly the people who are serving today, which is a totally different kind of war. And I want to thank you, Laura, for everything that you do for veterans as well.
All right. Well, thank you, Victoria, for sharing with us. Thank you for taking the time to write this book, and I wish you great success with it.